and some of these hollow trees get smoked right out through the inside. And these can actually carry flames up into the canopy and start a canopy fire. So we have to be careful with these. But we don't want people working around them. So my mission today is going to be to get rid of these, as many as I can, in areas that matter. And like, this was once a tree. You can see it's burnt right out. Gone. Right? Here's another tree. Root system's pretty much burnt right out. You know, I still class this one as relatively safe because it's got relatively decent anchorage, but it's nothing that you'd want to like spend too much time underneath, right? And there's really not a whole lot of action in here right now. The hot spots are pretty quiet. Now I could come in here and cut these down, but in doing so, what I'm actually doing is loading up the forest floor with more fuel. So if there's no reason for anyone to be in here, I prefer to let them fall on their own. Because that way, right now, they're not contributing to the problem. So what we need to do is raise awareness that, hey, don't come in this spot because this place is dangerous. And we don't really need to be in here right now. And if we start cutting this stuff down, we're loading this all up with fuel. So as long as it's standing, there's no fuel on the ground. This is an example of a tree we just cut down, and it's got lots of fuel in it. So we'll go along and we'll knock all this fuel on the forest floor so that it can't get up into the canopy should it catch on fire, right? And no, I think I'm gonna leave it for now, Tam, because I don't think anyone's gonna be playing in here anyway. So yeah, the idea here is we want to knock stuff down, but we don't want to contribute to the fuel loading. Because if you look around here, this is actually considered low fuel loading. And the person who owns this property has done a relatively good job of knocking off all the ladder fuel in here. So, you know, now what we could have in here more likely is a creeping ground fire. You know, this is creeping ground fire evidence right here. And that could actually kick back up again. Just like in your barbecue or whatever, or your fire pit, you know, you have a great big fire. And then the ashes insulate the coals that are underneath it. And those coals can sit there for days. And then you can just move that ash off and throw some paper on there and you have a new fire. Sure. And so long as I don't put that canopy on the floor, then I don't raise the fuel loading. And so long as nobody comes in here and works, they're safe. So if they have to come in here and work, then we have to come in ahead of them and make sure they're safe. And at that point, then I'll start putting stuff on the floor, and then we can deliver water to it, right? So that's the idea. Okay. But this is roadside ash, right? It's hard to get any traction in this. And then these are all over the place. They're like everywhere. I mean, you're standing next to one. All I have to do is just keep looking and I find more. So that's, you know, people just have to be aware because I can't deal with them all.